Okay, so fine, guys. So let's progress. Let's start with today's session. Uh, Let me do a quick recap of what we discussed in the last session. I remember we discussed first 20 visuals of this one. Let's quickly recap what we discussed. As I was going through the recording, till what point we completed. So we did first 20 visuals of IAM. We just started, and we discuss about what is user, what is group, and sorry, what is user. We discuss. Okay. So I'm just going through the PPT quickly, just to recap what we discussed. So why to create multiple IAM user, that we discuss. Instead of sharing a root account, we can have different multiple IAM users. Then how can we give the granular permission by choosing the policies? Then how to get a secure access to the services? Now we have to discuss the identity federation. I had a small intro. I gave a high level information about what is identity federation. Then about identity information, we can keep track of user activity by creating a log of that. What is a PCI DSS? We discussed multi-factor authentication, password policy, right? And then the policies. And also, I will just do one thing. I will open a document. Just a minute. Let me just pen down the things. So in the IAM topic, we have four important things. That is users, groups, policy, and role. These are the four things which we are going to discuss in IAM. So what is a user? As we already discussed that the very first account that we create with AWS is our root account. That is nothing but by providing your mail ID, you create an account, and that's your root account. Why we call it as root account? Because once we log on by that account, we get access to each and every service. Okay, we can deploy, we can launch any service, we can terminate any service. Fine, so that is a root account. Then, if suppose multiple users from your organization want to access the resources which you have deployed in the AWS cloud, so either you can share your credential, the root credential, or what you can do, you can create multiple IAM users, right? So either you can share the root account, or it's better that we create the IAM users instead of sharing the root credential. So what we can do, we can create IAM users. Let's say I have created multiple IAM users. Let's say user 1, I created user 2, like this multiple users I have created. Now once I create any user, any IAM user, by default that IAM user will not have any permission, means will not be able to launch any service, will not be able to terminate, will not be able to access, just a plain normal user without any rights. Fine. But suppose if I want to provide some right to any user, let's say user 1, I want to give the rights of launching an EC2 instance or launching a virtual machine. Okay. So what I need to do for that, I have various options. How do I provide the rights to the user? I can do that by either putting the user in a group, or attaching a policy to a user, or attaching a role. Okay, so these are the different ways I can provide the authorization to any IAM user. Now, coming to groups, what is a group? Let's say I want to, the example which I took is I want to give user 1 this one authorization as launching an EC2 instance, right? But the same rights I want to give to 10 different users. Okay, let's say I want to have 10 users, and the same rights I want to give to all these 10 users. So instead of attaching the policy separately to each user, what I can do, I can create a group. Okay, let's say my group name is EC2 launch access. Okay, this is, let's say, my group name. Now what I will do, I will create a group by this name, and then I will attach a policy. Okay, the policy, we have lots of predefined policy. If you remember, while we discussed in the last session, around 200 policies are there. Okay, and every policy has certain authorization predefined. Authorizations are predefined, or I can say attached to the policy, the default policy I'm talking by the AWS. If you want, you can create your own policy also. So what I need to do, I will have to attach a policy to the group, a group which I created by this name. Now this group will be having the authorization of launching an EC2 instance. So now after this is done, I will add all these 10 users in that particular group. Okay, this group I will add. So this will simplify my job. Or else the other option is I can just put one by one, I can attach the policy to each and every user, all the 10 users separately. Okay. Now the next option is role. As I said, we can even attach a role also. So first we will discuss what is role, and then I will showcase, like I will tell you like how we can do that. But before that, policy, I think we just had an introduction of policy. So policies are written in JSON language, JavaScript object notation, and if you want, you can customize the policy. You can define your own policy and you can attach the policy. I said, I'm going back to this one. I said, see, mainly what is required. I want to assign some rights to my users, okay? Because default user doesn't have any right. I will showcase this in a short while. I'll showcase you the demonstration of this. We will create a user and we will not attach any policy, and let's see what rights the user has. Okay, so default user will not have any rights, but if I want to assign a right, I have different ways to do that, Rajiv. One is I will add the user in a group. Second is instead of putting in a group, I can directly attach a policy. Thirdly, I can the user can assume a role. Okay, so these are the different ways. Fine. So group, I can first define a group, or later also I can define a group, and a group also have the policy has to get attached to a group. Only then the group will get certain rights. Otherwise, just creating a group will not have any rights. So I will attach a policy to a group so that all the members of this group will get those rights. The next one, as I said, you can directly attach a policy to a user. When you want to manage a policy of just 2-3 users, it's better that you can directly go with the policy attachment. Or if you want to manage similar rights to multiple set of users, you can go with the groups. Okay. Then we have the next one is as a role. See, role policy as showcased you, and we discussed other day also, right? So the JSON, it looks like this, and we discuss what is there in this and what we have to specify. Even if you do not know JSON, this is very simple to know. You can take help of any existing policy and understand the syntax and the format, and you can just modify. So you just have to type the things over there, okay? Or but now, as I said, Visual Editor is also there supported, so that is very easy to use instead of using JSON. Now the role. What is a role? In simple terms, we can define a role. Again, let's say I am defining a role by the name, um, let's say S3 read only role. Okay, my role name is S3 read only, means I want to give access of the S3 bucket, read only access of S3 bucket. Now just defining a role definitely will not add the authorization to a role. Again, the thing is that I will have to attach. So I'm just putting the arrow in a opposite direction. I will have to attach a policy to a role again. So what we do, we attach a policy to a user. I will just write down here so that for your reference, policy can be attached to a user, to a group, and to a role. Okay, only then these entities will get a authorization. Now, without a policy attachment to a role will not have any authorization. Now, what is the benefit of a role? When we have already a policy, why do we have to create a role? Let's discuss that point. See, role, once you create, role can be assumed by anyone. For example, role can be given to a user. User can assume a role. Role can be assumed by an application. Role can be assumed by an EC2 instance, by a server. When, in simple terms, when one service wants to communicate with other service, okay, it is the communication is possible through a role. Remember, When one service wants to communicate with other service, it is always through a role the communication happens. Now that's why we call it as assuming a role. So a user can assume a role. Once a user assumes a role, the user will get those authorization. Likewise, if I attach a role to the EC2 instance, anything running on any application running on EC2 instance or my EC2 instance can use that particular role and can communicate with other service. Okay. In simple term, if you want to relate with your corporate environment, see, predefined roles are there, right? Let's say project manager or technical lead or SME or software engineer, right? So these roles, you are all aware of these roles, right? Now project manager, what responsibilities of project are defined for a project manager in IBM is different than the project manager responsibilities defined in Infosys. It's different than in any other corporate enterprise, right? What I was saying, you have different titles in the IT industry, right? We have project manager, we have SME. Let's take SME, subject matter expert. So SME, what roles and responsibilities are defined? The responsibilities are defined under SME for one organization will differ that in another organization, right? So always when you get some requirement from some company, so we always check the job description, JD, right? We see that job description, does it match with our profile, and then we apply for that. So the job description or the responsibilities are important. The title is defined by the company and the roles are attached, not role, I can say, the responsibilities are defined by the company, right? So what exactly that? So now let's say in one corporate organization, the project manager or the SME title is already been defined. A role by this name is already defined. Now when you are joining as a project manager, you will have to take all those responsibilities which are part of project manager. Okay, automatically those responsibility will get attached to you. So what you are doing, you are assuming a role of project manager for a particular organization which you have joined, and the responsibilities are part of that. So here we can define, we can relate project manager as a role name, and the responsibilities are the policies which are attached. Okay, so what you are doing, you are working in an organization by assuming the role of project manager. Role will be there with you as long as you are a part of that organization. Once you leave, it's no more there, right? So similarly, the role, as long as the role is attached to the user will be able to perform the activity. Once I remove the role, the user doesn't have those rights. So am I clear with the role? Why we use the term assuming a role? It is very similar to the designation which we use it in our in corporate industry or in IT industry. Okay. Say I am starting up a new company. I am a startup. Okay. Now I want to recruit employees. So what I will have to do, I will have to define certain role, under which role I want to recruit, right? So I am defining a role. Now initially role is just a plain role. So what I will do, I will attach what I'm expecting once once the employee joins my company. What kind of expectations do I have with that employee? What kind of work the employee should do? So I will define a role and I will define the. Yes, correct. Yeah, correct, Mahi. Muthu, it is correct. Okay. So I will define the responsibility. So accordingly, the user will perform the activity. So similarly here in AWS, user will get the access to the services, will be able to perform the activity once the role is attached to the user or once the user assumes a role. But the role will not have by default any policy. You are responsible to attach the policy based on your requirement. How does it differ with the policy? Role we can use for the services. When one service wants to communicate with the other service, always the service will assume a role, and based on the policies defined in a role, the communication will happen. But that is not the case with policy. We cannot attach a policy to a service, remember. Okay, so I am going back to management console. I will use IAM. IAM service is free of charge. You are not charged for creating users. You can create any number of users. You can create a group, roles, policies. You are not charged for that. Okay, so it is free. I am typing IAM over here. Now I guess for this session, this is the very first demonstration. Light sail I showed you, right, on the first day session. So for the service, this is the very first demonstration. Now I am in the dashboard of IAM, right? Now my user which is been created, you can see here it is showing me sign in link. This is the link, sign in link for my root account. And in this link you can see here, it is showing this one, the ID 684 and all that. This is my ID. Okay, account ID. If I want, I can customize. I can click on customize. I can specify what I want. Let's say I'm giving Sonal create already exist. Okay, Sonal S. Fine. So instead of account, the numbers, account ID which was highlighted, now it is showing me the one which I give. So I can just customize that. That is one thing. Another thing is that now in your management console, this is the one here you can choose the region. Okay, there are many services which are regional. Let me just click on the service and let me select the EC2. As I select other service, as I click here, see, okay, select the IAM, automatically the region has gone. So it is like global. So IAM is a global service. It is not a region specific. Okay, means by using this account, my root account, I can deploy resources in any region. I can create an IAM user, and those IAM users can log on, can work in any region. So it is not a regional service, it is a global service. Okay, this IAM users or the root account is not only available in one region. Okay, this global indicates that. Fine. Now this is my dashboard. It is highlighting few things I would like to show you. See, users, I do not have any user apart from the root, the groups. Okay, manage policies. The customer manage policy means I created one policy, so that is custom policy, but it is not the default one. Default I have, as I showed you, 200 policies we have. Okay, so this is the one which I created. Then the roles. Fine. How many roles do we have? There are predefined roles and some roles I have created. And the identity provider. So presently it is nothing been configured. Now down we have certain security status. So we will discuss this one by one. This is the security status of my root account. Okay. Now let me go to the users. Let me add a user. Username. Let's say I'm adding a user by the name admin. I can create multiple user if I want. Okay. Now here you can see what type of access. Select AWS access type, means what type of access do I want to give to this user to the AWS. Whether I want to give that, like this admin user, I want that should be able to log on through the management console. Then I have to select the second option. Or let's say admin is a okay. Let take this one. Let's say I'm creating another user, the developer. Okay. Now for developer, the programmatic access is given. Let me just remove the admin and developer. Now what type of access I want to give to developer? So developer always use the programmatic access. So this access is for developer, and that is nothing but your command line access, CLI. So developer can access by using CLI, by using SDK, the development tool. So this is mainly used by the developers. Okay, the command line access, but the normal users can use the management console, or even developers can also use this, right? But developers always work on the coding part, and all for doing that they will need a access to the editor, to the command line interface and all that. Fine. But to do a programmatic access, the access key and secret access key is required. So I will showcase you. First we will create the admin user by giving the management console access. Now we have password. Either I want auto generated, I can use, or I can specify my custom password. Okay, so let's go with the auto generated as of now, or let me use custom, and then we will create few more users. Let me just complete. I'll come back to the question. So custom password, I am giving admin itself. Okay, you can even show the password. Now there is another option, require password reset. Okay, password reset means if this option is enabled, next time, first time when you log on by using this admin account, it will ask you to change your password. Okay, it will automatically, see, users automatically get this particular policy, IAM user change password policy. This is a predefined policy. This will automatically get attached to the user, and which will enforce the user to change the password at first login. But I don't want that. I'll just go with the I'm unchecking that. Okay, I will not attach any policy as of now. Just create a user so that I can show you how we can attach the policy. Think developer guys create millions of user for testing. Yeah, can be script. Yeah. We can, Sunita. We can script. Yeah, okay. You were answering. Oh, Sunita, you only asked. Yes, user is created. Let me select. How do I log on? I will show you. Now, once I select the user, under security credential, it will show me the sign in link, console login link. So by using this link, I can log on with that user. Okay. So now I am just copying this link, opening another browser and pasting it over here. Yeah. Okay. User ARN, right? So this is your ARN, the access resource name. How do you access any resource? Okay, AWS provides you the ARN name for the resource, so that by using that ARN you can access the resource. That is nothing but access resource, AWS resource name, sorry. Okay, so this is the link, the URL through which I will access. Now I am going to that, let me just log on. My username is admin. Account ID, you can see automatically it has taken it. I'll just go back. You can see the account ID is also part of that. See, though I have created a IAM user, but it is under the same hierarchy. On the top level I have a root account, and then next level I have a IAM user. So root account can manage the IAM users, can attach the policy, can detach the policy, can assign the role, can delete a user. So ultimately it comes under the same account. Okay, the root account. So that's the reason it is, the account ID is highlighted. If you remember, I just customized the ID, the numbers. So I will go back, I will log on with this. I will come back to the questions. Let me just showcase you this part. Now I logged in as admin user. You can see here in the username, I am just highlighting on the right side, admin at Sonal, right? Now, Srinivas, you will have to check from your end. Now what? Now the thing is that I will try to. Okay, let me use IAM itself. I will try to create a user. Let's see if it allows me to do. Okay. Now see, you can see it is throwing the error. We encountered the following error. See, as I click on users, see, add user, you need permissions, right? So it will allow me to proceed, but yeah, it will at some point, it will definitely throw error. It at the beginning also it was throwing error, but still if I continue, see, you need permission. At each step it is giving me error message. Create user, see, unable to create user. Okay, so okay, let me try using some other service, let's say EC2. Let me try to launch an instance. See, you are not authorized to describe running instance and all. As even if I start proceeding again, initially also it was throwing error. See, at each step it is throwing error, right? So nothing I can do. It is just a plain user which doesn't have any rights, can just see the services highlighted in a console but cannot do anything. So I will just leave this as it is. We will attach the policy and then we will come back here. Okay. Now, so what I did, I just created one user. Now let me again go back. Let me add another user. Okay. Let's say now this time I will add developer, a user by the name developer. Okay, now there was a question like, can we give both access? So let me just choose both. Selected both. So you got the answer. Someone asked me some time back. So Timmy, you got the answer. Fine. So we can select the both programmatic access also as well as management console access also. Now this time I selected both, right? So I can showcase you where it will highlight the access key and secret access key. Now this time I'll go with auto generated password because last time I selected the custom password. Okay. And this time I'll leave this option enabled. So click on the next. Fine. Click on next. Now, as I did not uncheck the last option, you can see the policy IAM user change password. So automatically it got attached. Now let me create user. Okay. Now what I did, I selected both the option, the programmatic and AWS console access, right? So now you can see see guys, secret access key and access key has been generated. So if you want to do a CLI SDK or the this one access for the developer, so you can the secret access key and access key, these two keys are required. So you should preserve these keys, very important. So what you can do, you can download these keys. You can see a download.csv file. So you can download and you can preserve your keys. Okay, so these keys, when you are logging it to CLI, you can use these keys. If you want to see secret access key, show. Okay, you want to see the password because we selected auto generated. So this is the password. So I will have to, for my login, I will have to use this password. I am just copying this in buffer. Okay. So I hope your questions are answered. Now now for this also, yeah, for this developer also, let's see the link. Now you can see the link. So you can see the same link is there, which we used for earlier user, right? So now this time I'll go with this link. I'll open another, sorry, I will open. What's happening? Okay. Oh. My password was copied in buffer. I will have to use the link. Coming back using this link. Going back to the browser. Okay, so my account ID is highlighted. Now I will have to use dev. Let me check the spelling, developer, if I'm not wrong. And now I will have to paste that auto generated password. So let me go back. Under users, developer, where is that? Where is that gone? Oh, I did not save it. Access key, secret access key is there. I did not save it. Let me just see for this user. Oh, one sec. Oh. I did not save the password. I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake actually. I just saved the password in a buffer. Okay, and I wanted to copy the link, so I just overwrite the things. Okay, doesn't matter. Just I wanted to show you like you can, yeah, you can use the password, auto generated password also you can do, or I can change my password now by using this manage password, and then I can assign set keep ignore auto generated password. If I use, let, yeah, I will take another password. Okay, control C, sorry. Oh, some copy and paste problem. One sec, let me just, yeah. Okay, so I created a new auto generated, and this one is there. Fine. So yeah, now this is again a normal user which doesn't have any rights. So now let's go with the rights. How can we create a rights? Okay, so I will go under users, how to assign rights to the user. Okay, now I will use the users. Let me attach some policy to the user. So admin. Now permissions, I can add permission. Now add user to a group. Either I can create a group and then I can add it, or let me just directly add it and then later we will go with group. So there are multiple options. Either put user in a group or copy permission from an existing user. Let's say the same permission you want to assign what you have given to the other user. Okay, so you can use the existing or attach existing policy directly. So I'll go with the policy first. Only these two access are available means I didn't get Vinay. To get the access to the console, management console, if you want to access, a login name and a password is required. To get the access to CLI, access key and secret access key. These two keys are required. Okay, to get access on a CLI. Now I'm attaching the policy. So you can see a list of policies are highlighted. If you remember, we discussed some of the policies. I'm going back here and just showcasing. You see Amazon S3 read-only policies there. We discussed other day. Then EC2 full access policy. We have administrator access. So if I attach this administrator access policy to my user, that user will be able to perform all the admin tasks. Means will become a root, right? So like this, you have the policies. Okay, it will show you the policy name and whether it is a custom policy means user created or whether it is AWS managed. It is highlighting AWS managed. Okay, if it is been created by me, it will show the custom managed, and then attachment to how many users the policies are attached, that it is highlighting, and a small description. Fine. Let me just select some policy for you to demonstrate this. So let's say I will go with S3. So let me just give S3. Fine. So S3 full access is there. S3 read only access is there. So I'll just attach this S3 read only. Okay. If you see down, this is one policy which I created, S3 lab policy, customer manage, right? And it is attached to one user. Okay. So now I will give this S3 read only access policy. I'm attaching to the user. Next review. AWS managed policy is nothing but these are predefined policies. Abhi, these are predefined policies by Amazon and we are just using that policy. Customer manage is one which is being created by the customer, by the user. I have created one policy, so it is managed by me, it is defined by me. Okay. Now add permission. So this policy has been added to the admin user. Now already I am logged in, so I'll go back. This is my admin. Okay, because in the same console multiple login not possible, so I'll just close the other one, the developer, and I will have to close the developer and I will have to log on with the admin. So let me take the link, because the same browser I was using, so only one access. Admin. No, now here you can see admin user is logged on, and I already gave the policy for S3. So let me just go to S3 service and let's see if it allows me to read only the buckets in S3. Okay, so these are the buckets which I have. This is the data which I have in my S3. So let me just open anyone. See, I'm able to read. Okay, I'm able to see. This is not root, Iqbal. This is the admin user. If you see the name, I will just highlight you one sec. If you see admin, okay, admin at Sonal, it is highlighted. But if I go back to my login, here you can see only Sonal. So this is the root login. For root login, yeah, I can just do a normal sign in, Rajiv. I don't have to use a link. Okay, normal sign in, and there I can put the root credential. But I am user, I will have to use the link. This link I will have to use. Yes, that perform that. So as a root, I attach the S3 policy, S3 read only policy, and now if I go back, see that user is able to view the content of S3. But if let me just try to create something. Okay, let me just see if I can create. Providing some random name. Can see, even though I am clicking on create bucket, it is not creating the bucket. Neither it is giving an error nor it is creating. So what access I gave? Only read only access. The policy says read only access. Fine. So now let me just go back. I am there under users. So like this, you can select the user and you can add the permission, right? So you can see this Amazon S3 read only permission. Now let me just see the JSON of this policy. Fine. So as I select this, down you can see policy S3 and the access full read access is full and limited list access is there. Okay. Now if I click on the JSON, it will show me JSON of this. Now this is similar to what we discussed earlier. It has a statement block. First it has a version when the policy was created, and then statement under that effect is allow, and the action is get and list, and the resources for all bucket. Okay, there is no ARN for a single bucket. So all bucket we can list. Fine. So this is the JSON. Okay, and there is a policy summary. So you can see this. Fine. Now I will just go with yeah, Gaurav, we can have multiple root in the sense what we can do, we can have only one root account, but we can create multiple IAM users, and we can give to any one IAM user, we can give the policy as, let me just show you, administrator full access. Okay, so that will become another root. See, administrator access. Okay, so provides full access to AWS services and resources. So it will become next to root. We'll be able to perform all the activities as what a root can perform. Okay, fine. So how can we check what policy? That's what I will just go back. As you click on users, select your user, and then you can see attached directly. The policies are highlighted here. Okay. Is it clear, Vinay? So now job function type. What does that mean, job function type? Momita, I didn't get your question. Okay, now I will just show you something. See, there is some option add inline policy. So I am selecting this add inline policy. As I select that, now I can define my own policy. Okay, so as I said, we have a visual editor if you are not comfortable with JSON, or you can write the policy in JSON. See, you have the template is created for you, and you can start putting the things under the statement block. Okay, or you can import the managed policy also. Click on import, or you can go for visual editor. Under type category. Okay, just hold on guys. Let me just complete this part, creating policy. I will come back to your questions. So now I am just going back to showcase you where this option was highlighted. As you select your user, and you can add the permission wherein you can attach the existing policy predefined. These are the predefined existing policies, or you can create a policy. Okay, so this option you can use to create a policy, or that an inline on the right side was highlighted inline policy there also. Now choose a service, for which service you want to define a policy. So as you click on service, it will highlight. Let's say I want to do it for EC2. Okay, so I type EC2. I want to define a policy for EC2. Now what action I want to give? If the action is nothing but what kind of access you want to give for the EC2 service. Okay, so in the action, and this is nothing but I am allowing, right? You can't see that effect over here. Anywhere the effect is not there, because on the right side, if you see, switch to deny permission. If I click on deny permission, now the deny is highlighted here, and whatever I'm specifying, it will come under deny. So if I, let's say, all EC2 action deny, or list should be denied for the EC2 service. This policy I'm defining, which will deny the list access to EC2. Okay, or switch to allow permission. So that is how the effect is highlighted in the visual editor. Now for EC2 service, I want to give list access. Okay, now under list you have again multiple kind of authorization. Almost 72 are there. So if you want to choose only some, I can just show you down, just pull down list and get this. Okay, so under list also you have so many things. So you can, whichever you don't want, you can just uncheck it. Okay. Yes. Yes, correct. It's a kind of a access control list. Okay, so or you want everything, you can just give that. Fine. Now the resource. since I selected the service, now I selected the service, I selected the effect as allow, I chose what type of access I want to give to the service. Now the resource is nothing but to which particular resource I want to give. I can make it resource specific. For example, I have multiple EC2 instances, okay, and I want to give access of only one instance. So I can just define that under the resource, okay. And if you want, you can put the conditions also, additional condition you can put, right. Where this particular policy, when I'm attaching to some user, that user should have an MFA enabled, or that user should be logged in from this so and so IP, right. So I can put a further condition, fine. Now I will just review the policy and will create the policy. Okay, sorry. I just reviewed it. Now the name, I was wondering where I didn't give a name. So EC2 list. Okay, the name I'm giving EC2 list. That's it. So the policy full list access, create a policy. Now the policy has been created. Let me just highlight that what I've created just now. So if I go down, customer manage, you can see the last one, customer manage policy is highlighted. Okay, as I click here, it will show me the authorization, the JSON of that. Fine. Though I did not write a JSON, but see, it has created the JSON for me. I used a visual editor, right? So it will automatically create a JSON for me. If I want, I can edit the policy also. Okay. So I can click here. It is showing me visual editor and then the JSON for that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about if you don't know JSON. So that is how you create a policy. Let me just attach this policy. Let me complete this one practical and then I'll come back to the question. So now admin, now add permission. So I'm now attaching existing policy directly. So I will this time attach my own policy which I created as EC2, I guess list name I give. Yeah. So now I can just select this. Oh, sorry, it opened the policy. Just a moment. I add permission, attach existing policy, EC2 list. Okay, I should have clicked here and then add permission. Done. Now if I select, you can see EC2 list, the one is managed by the customer, the other one is managed by AWS. Now both the policies, the authorizations which are part of this policy will be can be used by the user and available to the user.